being an entrepreneur, as I like to call myself,
Right.
your paycheck is not stable. It's not a 9 to 5. You're not reporting to anyone.
So what kind of skills set do you think that somebody that wants to get into your line of work should have?
With a small drop in yields and only minor dents in the price of capacity and higher equity investment.
Okay, so welcome to Flyshikis TV. Today we're joined by Miss Afua Rida. She is a stylist, she's a fashion blogger, a consultant, and she also owns a business called StyledbyRida. So welcome, Miss Afua Rida.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. How are you today?
I am well. It's bright and early here, so I still need my coffee, but we're gonna get this done today.
Nice.
Awesome. So let's dive right into it. Could you tell us, more about your personal and your professional background?
Okay, so I am Ghanaian. I grew up in Ghana till I was 18, okay. Moved to Montreal for school. I studied psychology, child development, worked in that for 2.5 years while volunteering in the fashion industry. And so that's how my love for fashion started to develop, or okay. That's when I began to realize how I could make a career out in the fashion industry. Okay. And then, so sort of around that time in 2009, 2010, the fashion industry was beginning to bubble in Ghana. So a bunch of the new school designers were springing up, photographers were springing up, and I thought this might be a good time for me to move back to Ghana and do some styling. So that's where that started. Yeah.
Wow, that's such an amazing story. So how did you connect the fashion and the styling side to psychology? Like those are like two different worlds. Oh, have you always wanted to be a stylist?
No, I mean, growing up in Ghana, there are just certain careers that you're not exposed to, or that are not as glorified as being a doctor or engineer or anything anything that we feel like will bring in a lot of money and prestige and all of that. And so you just had no role models, or you just didn't see people in those roles. And so it was through working in Montreal as a fashion stylist, an assistant fashion stylist, volunteering on shoots, volunteering with fashion brands, that I realized that my love for fashion, I could work in fashion. And so so how does my psychology degree translate? Not much with the child development, but then just understanding how human beings react to our world. What makes us happy, what makes us sad, what colors, pieces of clothing, like how our emotions are connected to what we wear and where we wear it to and how we wear it. So
yeah. That's deep. So would you say that to be able to get into that industry, obviously you need connections, and I guess would you say that that's where your knowledge of psychology came about, and how to relate to people, how to make your connections and stuff?
I don't know, probably. I think I wasn't very cognizant of that movement. It was really just reaching out to the people who were in the industry and asking them if I could do some free work for them, build on my portfolio, sharing my skill set with them. And then hopefully one day I would have proven myself and they could hire me. So I was really into doing the work and paying my dues and really sharpening my skills before I, started to be paid.
So who do you remember the first person that you reached out to, like, hey, I actually want to do some free work for you. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't need no pay. Just let me work for you for free so I could just get some knowledge or some skills.
Yeah, so it was Christy Brown. I don't know if you know that brand from Ghana.
I don't, but I'm definitely gonna, research them.
Yeah,
Is it a clothing line or jewelry?
Yes, it's a luxury women's clothing line.
Okay. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
They getting free publicity right now, so.
I doubt they need it because they're really big. They're really amazing.
Okay.
I'll
definitely check them out.
Yeah, the modern African woman can find anything she needs. Yeah, and then there were a few TV shows here and there that allowed us to come and style for free.
Okay.
And so it was with Style, the hosts of the show. Yeah.
Nice. So how long did you work with other brands before establishing your own brand?
Well, when I'll say maybe a year and a half.
Okay.
A year and a half to 2 years. I could, yeah.
So would you say that is that the time limit on knowing when to actually start your brand, or it's about like just gaining more experience for you? That's when you after a year and a half, you're like, okay, I know I have the ins and out, I have the connections, so now I'm ready to launch my own business?
It really depends on the person. People absorb faster than others.
Right.
There are a lot of people who feel like, you know what, I really want to be seasoned in this industry. I want my skills to be tip top before I start. A lot of people love working and learning on the job. I mean, I did a bunch of that. So, I mean, you never stop learning, to be honest.
Right.
But yeah, for me, I don't know. You just kind of knew when it was time.
Time, yeah.
Definitely.
It's like, it's about time now for me to start my own.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. So let's get into StyledbyRida. Tell me what was number one? What inspired StyledbyRida? What inspired you? Is it something that you've always wanted to do that as a kid, or what was that light bulb moment for you? Like, you know what, I need StyledbyRida.
So no, this evolved when I moved back. So working, like I said, I was working for free for a bit, and working with designers, I got to understand that these designers were not very connected with their consumers or potential buyers, being the public. So I thought, well, how do we connect them? And that's when Instagram was becoming more popular in Ghana. And I would see other influencers in the States or in Canada, and they would put on, outfits, take pictures of them and post them. And so I just started doing that randomly. I had a couple of friends would come together, would take pictures, I'd post them. And that was literally just to help the industry and just connect everyone. And then sooner or later, that became another way to get paid. And so my Instagram page grew. It became part of my career. Yeah. Wow. And then within StyledbyRida is my styling bit of the company as well.
Right. So would you say, how was the beginning like when you started, taking pictures? Sometimes people focus on the likes and the comments, like, okay, man, I'm only getting 1 like, 2 likes. Am I doing something wrong? Could you, from your experience, share how that was like to you and how you were able to pass that? Or unless, you started with 100 likes, on your first picture, then, that's different. But if that's otherwise, can you kindly share?
Yeah, I mean, we all started with very low likes, very few followers. But the important thing in doing this is you're not doing it for the likes or for the money or for the followers. There's a reason why you want to share a piece of you. And so just going out there, being authentic, presenting yourself in the truest, realest form. And then from there, your audience will find you. There's an audience for every single person, trust me. And the realer you are, the more authentic your audience is, if you see what I mean. So
no, definitely.
Yeah.
I think most people miss that point. They focus more about, like being like, oh my gosh, man, I only got 1 like, did I do something wrong? They start panicking, and they will steer them away from actually like going continuing what you're doing. So I think, so what you're saying is that you have to really know yourself and have a focus on what you want to do and don't let that actually affect you. And I like that a lot that you're saying that. So how would you say your brand has evolved ever since you launched?
It has evolved in the kind of quality content I'm putting out there, the creativity, the kind of brand that I'm working with. I feel very blessed to have been able to work with brands on the continent, on the African continent, and then in Europe and the States. My understanding of who I am has gone quite deeper, understanding different ways on how to connect with my audience. Even though you've been able to grow this audience and they all love you, now it's like, well, how do we make this more creative? How do we make this more engaging? How do we make it more funny? Or how do we now elicit more of a response from the audience? Yeah.
So you're saying that you actually really learned from while you're actually doing it. You had to like understand certain things. You had to rebrand. I'm guessing. Wow, that's deep. So as far as when you say understanding yourself more, can you tell me like how that came about with you being in that business, like helping you to understand yourself more about, was it just personally yourself or understanding the brand?
Understanding myself and always making sure I'm coming back to my story. Doing a job like being an influencer or a content creator, with the brands coming to you, they usually come with a list of instructions. Hey, this is our brand, this is how we'd like you to tell this story, and so on and so forth. And so always making sure that in whatever story you're telling for whatever brand, you're making sure that Afua is being who Afua is being expressed.
It aligns with you.
Yes, that it aligns with me. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Wow.
And through that, I'm beginning to understand that, actually, if I was to advertise this remote control, like this is how Afua, interacts with it, and this is how I would like to advertise it. And so, like, you're intentionally learning about yourself in that way.
Wow. Yeah. So it's like staying authentic for yourself while promoting other brands. So have you had to turn any brand down just because it didn't align with who Afua was or Afua is?
Yes, I mean all the time. Everything that I promote, I have used before, or it is something I will use. So there's a bunch of like slim teas, get slim quick. I don't know, all that stuff, all those pills.
Right. One day get slim fast.
Yeah. I do not encourage that. I think it's fine if you want to take that, but I don't know what's in these. I personally wouldn't take them, so it's not something that I would promote. Everything I promote, I would personally engage with.
So if somebody came here now, like, look, if I'm gonna give you $20,000, it doesn't really align with Afua, are you gonna do it or not?
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I just want to get a different perspective, right? From, like sometimes it's okay to miss on money, because it goes a longer way than, sometimes in the moment. So, and it's just because we live in a world where, everything is on our phone, right? There's a lot of, content creators, people want to get into it. So I just want to get deeper into it in your perspective, Would you turn 20K down?
I would. At the end of the day, I won't be able to look at myself. I won't be able to,
right.
It's just not, it's not honest.
Right.
Yeah. It's not honest.
I like that. So at the end of the day, you're saying that you have to stay true to who you really are, and that's what's gonna pay off.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So what kind of skill set do you think that somebody that wants to get into your line of work should have? Like, it's necessary to have that kind of skills?
I think first and foremost is the passion for the job, because being an entrepreneur, as I like to call myself,
Right.
your paycheck is not stable. It's not paid. It's not a 9 to 5. You're not reporting to anyone. You're just reporting to yourself. So having that passion is what's going to keep you going during those low times, during those tough times. So a lot of times you're going to have to create a lot of content for like maybe a month and no one is paying you. Just so you have to love it, and that's how you'll stay afloat. And also be very hungry for new information. The social media platforms are evolving every day. You know, Instagram started with just images and then videos and then stories, and you know, now we're making reels, and that's how we're connecting faster with our audience. And so just having a spirit to learn more, it's quite important. And being very attentive to your audience in terms of what they need. Maybe some people are asking you the same question, and maybe you do need to create content on that subject because it's something people want to know about. So being attentive to your audience and always engaging and answering questions, and yeah, that's very important.
What are certain ways that you do to engage with the audience?
So I mean, the easiest way is when you post a picture in the comments. People are always expressing themselves in the comments, so you can respond, add to, answer questions. That's one easy way. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, they have created a platform for you to actually speak to your audience, like we're doing through stories and all of that. That's also very interesting. Sharing, you know, little bits of your everyday lifestyle. People love to see that, and that's also another good way to attract the right audience to you. So people love that, and just always being honest. Yeah.
I like that you always come back to honesty and staying authentic. And is it something that was essential for you to learn about being honest and staying true to yourself? Is there like a lesson that you had to learn that? I'm just asking just because you revert back to it, like, don't forget it. This is key. Is it something that, you know, like, was there like a learning moment for you that you had to really learn that, you know?
Yeah, there were one or two. So observing other influencers and seeing how they suddenly changed into what they thought that their audience wanted, and then that falling flat on their faces. Or even with myself, having moments where, I mean, you're not always at a high creative point in your life, and so it's in those moments where you realize that your engagement is going down and people aren't, you know, sending messages as much, and it's because you're losing yourself in that sense. So it's not necessarily you were being dishonest, but you just had maybe a moment where you couldn't give so much, and the audience responds very quickly to that. And then once you come back, you'll see how everyone's like, hey, she's
welcome back. Yeah. So then, wow. So do you have a personal life that people do not know, or you have to be an open book?
No, there's definitely a lot about me that people don't know.
Okay.
I'm naturally a very reserved. I'm an introvert. I don't speak as believe it or not. Like,
okay.
Don't let the images fool you.
Right. Wow. We're learning more about Miss Afua Rida today now.
When the camera turns on, like I naturally just get into the poses and all of that. That's fun. But in my private life, I'm very introverted. I like being alone by myself. Those times are very important to me. And so sometimes it's very hard to translate that in my stories.
Right.
I'm still learning how to communicate through those moments and still, even if it's like, hey, I'm just sitting here and I'm reading a book.
Right.
That's okay. I have to learn how to realize that that's okay. And someone can learn something about that. What's the book about? You know, so just trying to figure out those little kinks. Yeah, so I'm actually very introverted.
Wow.
A lot of people,
I would have never guessed that.
A lot of people struggled during lockdown, and I was just like, this is great. Like,
oh yeah, nah. But this COVID is like, I'm the same way, by the way. I mean, people see me, they see they're bubbly, you know, like, you know, they're like extroverted. But when I tell them I'm introverted, like, wait, what? You're not. I'm like, you have no idea. Sometimes I need to recuperate on my energy. I need to get my energy back, you know, from, you know, giving it out. And I think it's necessary to be able to know when to switch it off. You know, you understand the assignment. So when it's time to get the assignment done, oh yeah, I'm going to do it to the fullest. But after, I'm gone. Like, bye-bye. You know, I'll catch you later, that kind of a thing. Yeah. So tell me, what is one thing, right, that your fans do not know about you? This is exclusive here on Flyshikis TV. We want you to tell us one thing that your fans do not know about you. Nobody knows about you. Maybe your mom and your dad, probably. Yeah, we just want exclusive answers on.
So it's probably like my little inside.
Yeah, that introvert, like that part.
Yeah, so I can actually be a goofball. I can actually be kind of funny sometimes, and a lot of people don't know that. So, yeah.
Are you serious on your pages?
I'm not. I'm friendly.
Okay.
I'm just not being funny or sarcastic or, you know.
All right, so anybody, other viewers listening, just make sure you crack some jokes because she's down with some jokes.
I'm down with some jokes, yes.
Gotcha. So if you were given a chance to start over, what is something that you would do different, knowing the knowledge that you've acquired from your experience? What is something that you would do different?
Ooh, I think being more open to networking and connecting with a lot more people. I think that would have been very beneficial. Being an introvert, I'm also quite shy in certain aspects, and so networking can be challenging. So now I'm a bit more comfortable.
Right.
I just feel like a lot more information could have been accumulated faster, and I could have gotten a lot more help.
How were you able to get over the shyness, that boundary? You know, how are you able to, do you talk to yourself? Do you tell yourself like, look, I got to do this. You got to go. You know, like what are certain things that you did to be able to get over that?
Yeah, pretty much. And learning from others. Like my little sister, Hayat Rida, she's so awesome. She's also an influencer. She lives out there in Chicago. So you guys should follow her. So she's known me all my life. And so she'll have talks with me where it's like, literally, you just have to go and talk to these people and you will get the information, and that's that. And then it's over time, you trying that over and over and over, and you realizing that, wow, I'm actually making some headway because I came out of my comfort zone and I took this risk. So, so the right people being around you really helps as well.
Definitely. You always need that person in a corner, like, go, stop being comfortable, push yourself. Yes. Definitely. So for someone that has worked with, you know, like major brands, you know, like Amber 189 and so on, people that want to get into your line of work, what is, you know, like an advice that you say you give to them, you know, to get them motivated?
Yes, so it's important to intern, volunteer. Really humble yourself and understand what you're getting. It's through that work that you'll understand what you're getting yourself into. So put in the work, humble yourself, put in the time. A lot of us are like, okay, you know what? I've been doing this for 6 months. I'm good. But how do you know? Like, put in the time. there's a lot more that goes into this kind of work than just what everyone sees, the pictures and the final product. Like so for me, I'm a full-on marketing company. I'm the manager. I come up with the ideas. I'm the makeup artist. I'm the hairstylist. I'm the clothing stylist. Sometimes you're your own accountant. You're your own photographer, videographer, and then you have to edit and then post on time. So
wow.
there's a lot of
you do everything.
Yes, I mean, now I have people helping me,
right?
But there are times where you will have to do everything.
Wow.
I mean, it's great skills to learn, honestly. Yes. What else? Yeah, there was one more thing. Anyway.
What is that? I got you. So wow, so you had to really learn like all aspects of like marketing, branding, content creating, understanding the metrics of how social media, Instagram, TikTok, all that works. How do you have a software that keeps you up to date with new updates, or how do you get your information?
Well, back to my sister. She works at Facebook or Meta, sorry.
Oh, so you got the insider.
Inside information.
Okay.
No. She tells me as it's coming out to the public. And so it's just like, oh, just an extra nudge of, hey, if I like now you can do this and you can do this. So those are all appreciated.
Shout out to your sister.
Right?
Right.
And you get to see other people's content online and you're like, oh wow, how did this person do this? And then you go out and you do your own research and then you figure it out. Yeah.
Definitely. And it's like, now with TikTok, that's like, oh my God. It's like the unlimited space where there's so much creativity. It amazes me sometimes.
You can learn about anything. I think a lot of people who are not on TikTok, they think that it's just dancing and dancing and singing. And
I was one of those though. I'm like TikTok because I'm on Instagram. I see people sharing, like videos from TikTok. And all I see is a bunch of people dancing, ha ha, hoo. I'm like, all right, come on, man. What is this about? But I actually started looking into it. I'm like, oh, TikTok is actually like, I like it. It's fun, it's creative, and I can actually see what people are actually doing. And the numbers on the likes, like the exposure rate is high.
It's really so high. I follow doctors. I follow like bakers, florists, lawnmowers. Like I'm learning from everyone.
Hey, everything. Lawnmowers?
Yeah, I mean,
it's trying to start a farm one day.
It's a whole art. Like people can make your backyard look like a palace or like.
Now I saw someone build literally like a little backyard with like almost nothing. It was phenomenal. Like I saw it, I was like, wow. I actually really didn't think that was real, but it was actually real.
And you can open your mind. Like it really opens your mind.
So you're always exposed to learning. Like you're always down to learn new things, even if it doesn't involve what you're currently doing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Absolutely. I like that a lot.
You never know what you can uncover.
Put a hashtag on that. You don't know what you can uncover. Said by the greatest, StyledbyRida. Wow. This was an amazing session. Thank you so much for stopping by, dropping this information. I think sometimes it's hard to obtain like information from people that's actually doing it. People struggle a lot, like you said, they will take pictures for like 3 to 6 months and they'll stop. But thank you so much, for stopping by Flyshikis TV. Flyshikis TV, by the way, is all about unifying Africans and people of the diaspora and also highlighting all talents from Africa. So thank you so much, for what you do. We will definitely keep tabs on you to see, what you got coming up next, what you're going to be sharing, and definitely, the motivation and things that you do stand for. So thank you so much once again for stopping by Flyshikis TV. No, absolutely.